It was a little hard to push to split these without a proper knife. But what you do is you take 6 of them that are the same, cut the butts off of some of your willow. Then you, using the blade, you pierce one in the middle and you twist the blade to the side. You stick your other ones in, the smaller ones are going in. Then you split the next one, turn the blade, twist the blade so it opens the crack, and slip it on those, and do the same with the third. And then, what I like to do is take the very small, willow ends, not the long ones, or the medium long ones. I like to take the very smallest and use them first. And I'll start by poking 2 tips into the crack at the end. There, so once I've got my small ones in the crack, I will separate them. And I'm going to have one going each way. So one is going to bend backwards on one side, and one is going to be backwards on the other side. So you see how that works? Then I will cross them. The one on top is now going on the bottom. I get to the other side, and I cross them. This time when I cross them, I got to make sure that the one that was under now is going to be the one that's over. Like that. See that? And then I go around, just like I did before, and the same thing here. Now, the one that went under, right here, is going to be the one that goes over. Right there. You see? And I go around like that. And I do the same thing now. The one that was under is going to be the one that goes over. Now I'm going to do this always going on the outside of the ring before it. This one was under, so it goes over. This one was over, so it goes under. Make sure you're on the outside of your work. On both sides. Check both sides. And the one that was over goes under. And the one that was under goes over. The under goes over. And keep it on the outside of your work. And the under goes over. Okay, so now we've come around twice. So now we're going to start opening these up. And we're going to do the same thing we've done here, but we're going to do it around each one, okay? So we're going to bend them. The one that was over is going to be the one that goes under. The one that was under is going to be the one that goes over. Now here, you have to really wrench it down in there, okay? Very important. The one that was over goes, it's going to be the one that goes under. The one that was under is going to be the one that goes over. And you're going to continue doing that all around the basket. Around the base, I mean. Over is the one that goes under. Now this is brand new willow that just got cut, so It will take some abuse. It will not break. It won't take every abuse, but it'll take a lot. Okay, you see? Now when you get to the end of your stuff, if it's a butt end like this, now you're going to add a small end, a butt end with it. And you're going to just stick it up under that. Where it comes out, I'm going to stick this one in. It likes to be underneath it though. Okay, like so. And then you're going to carry on, weaving with it as if it was the same one as before. Okay? I hope you're being able to see things. And away you go, carry on. Keep adding them and going around until you've opened them all the way out and tighten these two on the corners together so that they're going to be actually a nice circle. And you keep going until you get to near the outside edge. Okay then, now that you've got your basket bottom done, see how important it is to start with the small ones. When you put these on, make sure that they're sort of the same size. It's good if they are the same length too. Now you see when I got out here, I was using bigger ones. Now I'm going to use some even bigger ones. And I have whittled down the edge. And I'm going to poke them in to each slot. See if I can show you now. I'm going to slide them each in. As far as they'll go. And this is going to be making, put them all, these ends, make them all go the same direction. Along the last post is good. And you're going to put them on the same side of the post each time, or so that they are evenly spaced. That one needs to be whittled down a little better. Now if you have an awl, you can drive an awl in there to make your gap bigger. And you see how they go? You continue doing this all the way around. Stop. Okay, now you have squished each of these in as far as they will go. Now then, what you're going to do is upright the stakes. That's what they're called. So you take something sharp like a needle or a knife or something, or a nail. A fingernail works well. And you push in it and then you bend them up. And you're going to repeat that all the way around. You're going to go close to your last rim of weaving. I don't know how I can show you that. Anyway, I push my thumb in it and then I bend it very close by. You want to bend it slowly. If you're using green willow, you're better with this, but if it's soaked willow that's re-soaked or whatever you would call it, then you have to be careful that you go slowly and bend it with the willow. Let it bend carefully. Okay, I'm sticking my fingernail in it and bending it up. Stick my fingernail in it. Where's Where's my fingernail? Where's my hand? Okay, stick my fingernail in it and I bend it up. And it's okay if the bottom sticks out. You're going to trim them off later, or you can put a foot from there. Oops. Okay, so make sure you're still with me here. Okay, so make sure that you're right against here and that you've gone in far enough. If these slip out now, they will slip out when the basket is done, and your basket will never look good. I guess there's a purpose to the ones that I did wrong when I was starting out. Everything fell apart. Oh, I just broke a fingernail. You're a witness of it. Okay. Okay, now have a good look at these. Make sure none of them are going to slip out. Okay, if they're too big, then sometimes the pressure of the huge weaver or stake is going to push against those small ones. You don't want them to fall out. If they look like they're going to fall out now, redo them. Okay, now you tie them together at the top. And when you do that, this is going to make your basket go upwards. Now doesn't mean that your basket's going to be narrow, because you only have to have it tied at the top while you go around just enough to get the bottom, so they're going to be going upright. And then if you want them to go outward, you see, you release the top and you'll just let them go outward where you want. Now you can tie them with a piece of string, or you can use a piece of willow and just loop it on itself, if you saved any of your first pieces. Okay. If you choose to wrap it with willow, you're going to go around and around, and then you're going to take the end and stick it through. Okay. And that should hold pretty well. Okay, and now we get to this part. So it could be that your basket is leaning upward. This is okay. You're going to push it in the center. But it's better to do that when this is not tied. Okay, now you're going to do the same thing you did in the center. You're going to get stakes that are about the same height. So you go to the top of your stakes, and you get a pair that are about the same. Okay, the bottoms are about the same. Now, I would suggest you start with the thin end. So you're going to do the same thing you did before. You're going to go one on the inside of that one, one on the inside of the next one. And then you're going to go, the one that went over is going to go under. And so actually you're going to be working with each reed, doing the same as you did before. Or I'm going to try it with 3 reeds. I'm going to do 3 at a time. So to do that, I'll stick one in each hole like this. It's really hard to hold on to the. So you're going to have one going in each of these. And then you're going to work them the same way. The first one's going to go over under, second over under, third over under. Okay, so the best is to do 2. You do the same here as you did on the base. Remember when you go around to push it down hard. You don't want any spaces in there. If you start getting spaces, if it gets open like that, it won't be a tight basket. It won't be a good basket. Now, as you're going up, this is the time to check the way the the angle, and if they need to come out a little bit or go in a little bit, it's the time to take care of it. And just keep going around. You're going to put in, you're doing your bottom ends to bottom ends, butt to butt. So if you, when you run out of these, you're going to put a new one in, and you put it, you lift, you pull this one, keep your finger there, you pull this one out, and you stick it in that little hole right there, right alongside between this and this. And then you have to do the next one, you do the same thing. And always find the ones with the smallest ends. And as you go up the basket, they may get bigger, and that's okay. Okay, so that's how you add one, right? Like that. They're going to be right side by side. When you're working, you should work on your lap with this pointed away from you. And you turn it as you go. And you're squishing it down. And you're working them from the bottom. You don't try and get the top. You just bend the bottom and scoot it down in. It's hard to do with one hand, but you bend the bottom, and the rest is going to go up there and come down in the next hole. Okay, so you don't ever touch your ends. You're only touching it from here. And as you work, you're rotating it. You keep these very close. Then you take your other hand and you're going to put that around there and then pull it down very tightly, and then you do the other one. I have to show you this somehow. Okay, I hope that you can see everything. Okay, so you're holding this hand down. This hand is tight, and this one is going to just flip those and tighten them. Turn it, flip that in and out, tighten it. Flip that in and out, and tighten it. Flip that in and out, and tighten it. Flip that in and out, and tighten it. And then when you get to the butt ends, you add the next butt end. And you add it right alongside there. So you're never going to have a wide thing. You don't want to make it wider than the width of the regular ones. So that's why you're adding them in behind there. And then when you get to the ends of the whole work, this one still could go one more time. When you get to the end of all the work, then you're going to cut all of these off. If they're bothering you, you can cut them off ahead of time. Try and work with pieces that are the same. See how that's on top of there? You don't want that. You want them side by side. That's why you pull that one out and put that one in beside it. One-handedness is a big problem. So there you go. So it's in like that. So you only got one width. You don't want to have two widths. Okay, and then you continue to go around and around. Always squishing it, keeping it on this angle with yourself, and turning it. So the part that you're working on is at the top. And you're only working with these bottom parts of them. You leave the top parts alone. Okay? So when your basket has a bit of height, then you can take off the top. You'll find that as you're working, your stakes will try and come out anyway. Okay, and now you see, they're pretty much going to stand up on their own. Now, you might want to now push the center in. Put it against your knee and pull the sides, the tops down until it's no longer bending outward, but it's bending inward. That's going to splay your stakes. These are the uprights or stakes, and the ones that go to the side are weavers.